7 if you want to join us live. 800-348-1007. 35192 to send me a text. Cavaliers play tonight. Play the Sacramento Kings. Domantas Sabonis. Is that the guy's name?
Nailed it.
Domantas Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sacramento Kings tonight here on WMMS. 7:30 is the tip-off there. It's going to be their second-to-last home game before they hit the road. They'll play the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow night at 7:30. Both games, of course, all of them here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. And you can use the promo code JOLLY at CLE Clothing Company for the entire month of December. I was having a conversation in here earlier before the show with, I sent all you guys that email, Bill, and I sent, not all you guys, I sent it to Bill on the Christmas movies and Jeremiah over at KISS and Rob, our program director, because kind of split down the middle on whether or not National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation holds up. I think you and I are on team no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does not.
And Jeremiah and Rob are very much in the team that it does. And so I came across the story that, and I was kind of surprised too, that National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is the most watched Christmas movie in the United States.
I cannot believe that data.
I was surprised too. I mean, as much as people pop a bone for Christmas Story and Home Alone and, that kind of stuff.
Because usually you're going to get something that is going to be on a loop for kids. And so I would think it would be something like Elf or maybe one like the animated ones.
Yeah.
I would think.
The Rankin Bass.
Nah,
classics.
not those.
What? Oh, no? Island of Misfit Toys and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? Yukon Cornelius? No? I mean, even if but those are cross-generational classics. They're classics for a reason. I mean, Elf is kind of the only modern-day classic. That took off right away. But, I mean, those Rankin Bass cartoons are even a lot older than me. But, I mean, I remember watching those. They aired them every year until, with streaming and everything, a lot of them went to streamers. But for a while, CBS would air them all the time. It's a Wonderful Life is the second most popular holiday movie.
Hey.
Yeah, that's older than all of them. People still watch that, huh?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It stinks.
It's got a good meaning behind it. Nobody wants
What's
to
that meaning
listen.
again, Bill?
Money solves all your problems.
That is the moral of It's a Wonderful Life.
That is
you
not
got money,
the moral.
you don't got problems. That is
Okay.
the moral of that movie.
It's not the moral.
Which runs contrary, and this is something that you aspiring writers out there can potentially do your thesis on in school. That runs counter to what did we learn from Diddy when it comes to money? When you have
mo money, mo problems.
When you have mo of it, you have mo problems. So running counter the thesis behind It's a Wonderful Life, that the mo money you have, the fewer problems you have. Who knows? But National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, they said, was the number one. I suggested, Mary's in Philly this weekend, I suggested, as I long have, the best Christmas movie is Trading Places. It's the only Christmas movie with nudity that I can recall. I'm sure there was Full Frontal in It's a Wonderful Life, if you recall that. When Jimmy Stewart does Full Frontal.
No.
Oh.
Mary Bailey shows her knee for like a half a second.
Yeah.
And that was
you get a little bit of ankle.
Very racy back then.
Uh-huh.
Very racy.
But you get full Jamie Lee Curtis jugs in Trading Places. Eddie Murphy, and all the conversations about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And I never really cared one way or the other. I like Die Hard. I don't care. I think of Trading Places as one of those movies, too, where it's like you could make the argument that it's not a Christmas movie. That's just when it's... But there's a lot of people in Santa costumes. The whole motif is Christmas. So I'd much rather have Scrooged and Trading Places as Christmas movies. Because the conversation began because Jeremiah is looking to swap out his annual Christmas Eve film with his kids. He said traditionally they'll watch Home Alone. And he was looking for a new one. And I said... We absolutely don't want to go like some nightmare like Polar Express. Or,
yeah. That one really...
So Elf might be pretty good.
Elf's a good
Elf is
one.
so good.
Elf is... and that's one that the kids are going to enjoy. And the thing, too, with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is I don't think kids today would think that movie's funny at all.
I don't think adults today think that movie's funny.
That's what I'm saying. It's so broad that I saw it in high school, And I thought it was funny because I liked those vacation movies.
My favorite Christmas movie depends on my mood. Sometimes it's Elf, and then another time it's Grinch. Like, I think if I've had...
Jim Carrey's Grinch or the animated Grinch?
The Jim Carrey Grinch is probably what you're talking about.
Yeah, the Jim Carrey Grinch. Like, I think if I have had some wine, I find Elf a lot more funny, a lot funnier than it is. Grinch is just kooky, crazy, it's cozy, and it's like comfort watching.
You watch it stone cold sober, The Grinch?
Yeah, I can watch it sober.
You don't eat an edible about an hour beforehand and then watch it?
No, but I can eat an edible an hour beforehand, and Elf is like the funniest movie in the world. I'm like, oh my God, it's hilarious.
Elf, I feel like I got to take a break I don't watch it every year. I probably watch it every 4 or 5 years because I don't want it to get old.
Dude, ABC Family, when they hit the 30 days of Christmas, like right after Halloween, then it comes.
ABC what?
I don't think that's a thing, Cody.
Yes, they do. Or the
Not
25 days of Christmas?
When
Yeah, it's
ABC
not 30
Family
days
hasn't
of
been,
Christmas.
but ABC Family hasn't been a thing for like 5 years.
What?
I think it was like the 12 days. 12 Days of Christmas is the song.
I just remember that it's either ABC or Disney that has like.
Well, ABC did have that. ABC
25
Family
Days
did,
of Christmas. That's what it was.
but they don't. ABC Family's not a channel anymore, right? Isn't it something else?
Freeform.
Yeah, Freeform.
What? I am so old. I guess that shows you how much I watch cable. But
I guess it's still Freeform is still doing it. It says Freeform 25 Days of Christmas schedule.
Yeah, Freeform just used to be. I'm pretty sure it used to be.
Yeah, ABC Family.
ABC Family.
Wow, I didn't know it. So The Bachelorette and The Bachelor doesn't air on ABC anymore. It airs on Freeform.
No.
You're talking about those 25 Days of Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
ABC Family's different than ABC.
Okay.
Again, it's all the same company.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, it's confusing, but yes, I used to watch it on ABC whenever it was there. And
ABC Family.
Forget it. Forget I say anything.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm trying to, man. I'm always trying to forget you say anything.
National Lampoon.
Uh-huh.
I don't watch any of that old
He doesn't
stuff.
want anything.
Oh my God.
He doesn't want anything with Poon in the title. Oh, your
On
God, what?
Saturday, what's listed under their 25 Days of Christmas. So these are all pretty much Christmas movies, except they have Frozen in there. Frozen 2, and Olaf's Frozen Adventure. Is that just included because it has snow?
Winter, yeah, probably. It's
But
winter
that's not a
themed.
Christmas movie.
Winter themed.
Alan, is Batman Returns a Christmas movie?
I
I would say no.
would say no
It
because
doesn't make much of an appearance.
Christmas, it starts with like the tree lighting ceremony, but it ends on New Year's Eve. So like they kind of gloss over Christmas in it.
Bad
Do you guys
Santa.
do you put Nightmare Before Christmas as Halloween or Christmas?
I think it's more Christmas than Halloween.
Don't care for that movie.
I like it.
Me too.
Rob was trying to convince me that Four Christmases is underrated. And
I don't
said-
think I've ever seen that one.
I haven't either,
I've
but I
never
said
seen
that was a
either.
running joke here on the show in the first years of this program at MMS because it was my first giveaway at WMMS. And so the running joke for a long time was, and we'll have Four Christmases on DVD because that was the first thing they gave me to give away. Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. I've never seen the movie, but I assume the premise is they have to go to 4 different locations and 4 different iterations of family between the two of them. And so they're having, say it with me,
A good time.
4 Christmases.
I've never seen that or Christmas with the Cranks or Love Actually.
Do you watch Krampus? Like this?
Krampus?
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 Krampus.
Kronk!
Brought to you by Midol. The annual showing. You mean the Toni Collette? Who is in that? Krampus is...
I've never watched it. I just know that there's a scary movie based on Christmas, so...
Yeah, it's kind of supposed to be kind of funny, I think.
Is he German? What is Krampus?
Krampus.
I know what not nationality. What like
It's like Swiss
where
folklore.
does he come from? Swiss? Okay.
Yeah, Europe. Because they're like, when Santa comes and gives the children presents, Krampus will come and take them away.
Oh, you are being bad. I will eat you from the legs up.
When we have a holiday traditions and parades, Krampus is always involved.
Our children are not fat because they fear Krampus.
His cloven hooves will make you feel The warmth of the Christmas season, his long-pointed tongue will lick your face with love. And Krampusnacht will remind all of us that when you see that hairy, wicked devil, that Christmas is near. Yeah, it's probably Swiss or Austrian. It's European, whatever.
Yeah, they got all sorts of wild stuff. They got Black Pete.
See, I didn't grow up because we grew up Catholic. There was never a time where I realize there are plenty of Catholic families that don't do this. It's just what we did. And I don't even know if it was by design. But we didn't grow up with Santa. We grew up with St. Nick. And St. Nick comes from that.
How old are you?
Well, I don't blame my parents. Well, I didn't make it up. I didn't go, hey, Mom, can we talk about St. Nicholas and not Santa? I was a kid. I mean, blame them. But St. Nicholas is part of that, like, Eastern European. I assume it came from, like, my grandmother's family was from Germany or something. I assume it comes from that. So that's why you'd get, like, oranges in our style. Part of it was Depression-era mindset from my grandmother, and part of it was the St. Nicholas thing. So we'd get, like, oranges and chocolate and, you know, the way that because Krampus would come through, and if you had been bad, he'd put walnuts in your shoes. Or something like that. When we were in Paris for Christmas about 10 years ago, there would be these Christmas markets. And there overhead, there would be wires. And they have a guy dressed up as Santa in a sleigh going back and forth. And behind him on the wires was a guy dressed as Krampus who was chasing him back and forth. So on one direction, Krampus would be chasing Santa, and on the other side, when they go the other way, the tables had turned, and Santa got the upper hand on Krampus. Got him. Take that, Krampus. I don't know what the word means, but Krampus. I don't know.
I'm a big fan. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, what I have to say is not important.
Well, hold my beer.
She can't, Alan. It's not allowed.
I can hold a beer, dummy.
Right.
Slippery slope.
Alan, when you watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Yukon Cornelius is packing. How does he mean? Well, I wonder. Oh, he has a revolver. Oh, I see. I thought he meant Yukon Cornelius is really well hung. Who's looking at Yukon Cornelius's dong, by the way? Wow.
Cody Poundcake, helpful Alan Brown.
Yeah. Alan, we celebrated St. Nicholas Day. He leaves gifts in your shoes. Right. Gifts in your shoes. So what I would do is I would put out my wooden clogs every night, Bill, and then I'd come and wake up and they'd either be full of butter or candy. Oh, what a fun childhood.
Is that why you hate butter so much?
Because my shoes were always full of butter. No, I don't. I don't care for butter candy. No. You know what we've been doing, though, at Casa Cox is Gwen bought a jam advent calendar.
Jelly of the Month Club.
That's a one-time thing. I mean, it's, of the day. And so, like, you can go to Trader Joe's and get the little advent calendars of the chocolate and whatever. She bought this big thing because it has tiny jars of jam for each day, so it's heavy and it's quite cumbersome. But every morning, we'll go downstairs this month, and there's a little jar of jam. And sometimes it'll be like fig, which I don't care for. But other times it'll be like, tangerine yuzu, or it'll be, And so I have been eating a bit of jam on an English muffin, except I don't want the butter on there. Gwen and Nora take the butter. They want the butter, the jam, the English muffin. I don't want the butter. You know why? Butter in the shoes. I don't care.
Butter in the shoes, and you also, how much of the English muffin do you eat? Like a 16th?
One nibble.
I eat half. I'll take a few bites. Yes, because I just want to taste the jam. But I'll also find a tiny spoon, and I'll eat the jam out of the jar if I don't have time because I've already had my eggs. I've already eaten my eggs and my salsa. And so I don't want to mix that up too much with the English muffin and the jam. A little bit of me. Hey, Baker Mayfield, boy. Remember this guy, Baker Mayfield? This was a guy who played here for the Cleveland Browns, is what this says. And boy, did he have a game. So if you liked this guy before, you really like this guy now. All the stars aligned for this guy last night. He had been in town for about 48 hours when he got dealt to the Rams. And Matt Stafford, their starting guy, has been hurt. The backup guy got hurt too. This guy, John Wolfer, got hurt. So they weren't even sure if Baker Mayfield was going to be in, but he was. He was learning plays on the plane, and he comes from way behind and beats the Raiders by 1 point last night. Thursday Night Football. Terry the Goat is off to a great start because she picked the Rams over the Raiders.
Good job.
And no,
Terry.
it was the fourth quarter, and it was like 16-3 or something for the Raiders. And Baker Mayfield pulled it out. A 98-yard drive.
And he wasn't even at the Cheesecake Factory.
With a minute. You see what you can do when you're not distracted by finding a parking spot at the Cheesecake Factory? When you can really zero in? It's that L.A. vibe, man. It just gets in your brain, and you're like, God damn, I'm in California. I'm going to show all the haters what I can do. Now, if he can do this 5 or 6 more times, he might have a career. But he undeniably had a fantastic game last night.
It's a great story. I love it. I'm happy for the guy because he's had a pretty rough couple years on the football field. So at least he's got this moment. I have a feeling this will be his last big moment.
You might be right, but a lot of guys don't even have a moment like this.
Right. And
if you got to have a moment, this was the one.
I want to be wrong. I always wanted Baker to succeed, but I do feel like this is probably his last hurrah.
2nd and 10. Mayfield to the end zone to Jefferson. Is that possible? Touchdown. This is impossible. They go 98 yards. There is a new leading man in Hollywood. Holy mackerel.
This is unbelievable.
He ended the Rams' 6-game losing streak. The Raiders and the Rams right now are a couple of ho-hum teams.
Which makes me even crazier because the Chargers lost to the Raiders on Sunday. It's like, how do you lose to this Raiders team that's not that good?
Yeah.
Really bummed me out. But, hey, that's the one thing the Raiders are good at is making guys in improbable situations look great. They lost to Jeff Saturday and his coaching debut with the Colts, and then they lose a game that they had pretty much wrapped up to Baker Mayfield, and he never even put on a practice jersey.
Yeah. Yep. So it was a wild game. The Raiders became the first team to blow 4 halftime leads of at least 10 points in a single season since the 30s. Like before there was a National Football League, whatever they're calling it back then, guys throwing the pigskin around or whatever it was. It was a miracle.
The Gentlemen Footballers Clubs.
Today, the Leatherheads are on the field. So Baker Mayfield really comported himself incredibly well there. He's like, I haven't even unpacked my bags. Like I was absorbing the play, the team playbook on the plane.
You can't unpack your bags on the plane, Baker.
No, I think they were in the hotel.
Oh.
I think he dropped them. He said that he wasn't even sure he had collected his luggage from LAX yet. He'd only been in town. He said his quote was that it has been a crazy 48 hours. Imagine that.
Well, good for him.
It's on. You want to, because now the rest of the season is one big long audition for him. Because Matt Stafford, you age so quickly in professional sports that like you'll read these articles and they'll go, the aging Matt Stafford. You're like, the guy's like 34, I think. But this also shows what you can do with a team. Because like Stafford couldn't get anything going in Detroit when he was the quarterback for the Lions. They ship him to L.A. The two teams switch quarterbacks. Detroit's got Jared Goff now. Stafford goes to L.A., wins the Super Bowl. With OBJ, I think, right?
Yeah. But OBJ got hurt in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So if you're a Baker Mayfield fan, and listen, he always struck me as a guy you want to root for. There's 32 starting spots. And if you get in the right spot at the right time, you could have a nice career. He's not a top guy, but I mean, he could.
He just wants to be on a roster.
Yeah, that's right. Point. You want to be like a working athlete.
And if he does show up, and he's got a great situation there because Sean McVay's such a good coach. He gave a great speech after the game and I was like pumped up. I'm like, I'm not even a Rams fan, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. Maybe I'll become a Rams fan again. They were my B team when I was a kid. Jack Youngblood and Fred Dreyer and those guys. Maybe I'll go back and be an L.A. Rams fan. I'll have to switch my C team, actually. I'll have to, of course, my A team is the Chicago Bears. My B team is the Cleveland Browns. I'll have to swap out C teams. Maybe I'll slip to the Rams. But who knows? So if you had a Baker Mayfield killing it on your bingo card this year, there it is. And Terry the Goat off to a good start. I have to break here. If you want to text me for anything, 35192, AlanCoxShow.com is where you watch. Or hit us up on social. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.